Have you ever sat at a family dinner and felt like you were watching a play where everyone knew their lines except you? Like there was an invisible wall between you and everyone else at the table? If you have, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not broken. In every family, there's always one person who constantly feels like they don't quite belong. Someone who questions what others accept without thought. Someone who feels deeply in a world that demands emotional restraint. Psychology has a name for this person, the black sheep. But here's what nobody tells you about being the black sheep. It's not a flaw, it's actually a superpower. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why feeling like an outsider might be the greatest gift you never asked for. Let's start by understanding who the black sheep really is, because it's probably not what you think. The black sheep isn't the troublemaker. They're not trying to cause problems or create drama. In fact, it's quite the opposite. The black sheep is the person who sees clearly when everyone else is choosing blindness. They're the one who raises questions when the room falls into comfortable silence. They're the one who refuses to follow traditions that feel broken, corrupted, or simply wrong, even when everyone else goes along with them without a second thought. Think about it this way. Imagine everyone in your family is wearing tinted glasses that make everything look a certain color, but you're not wearing those glasses. You see things as they actually are. And that clarity, that unfiltered vision, makes you seem like the odd one out. The family often labels this person as dramatic, rebellious, or difficult. They might say things like, "Why can't you just let it go?" Or, "You're too sensitive," or, "You're making a big deal out of nothing." But here's the truth they won't tell you. You're not the problem. You're just the only person in the room who refuses to pretend. You're the only one unwilling to adjust to lies for the sake of keeping the peace. And that makes everyone else uncomfortable. Not because you're wrong, but because your honesty reflects back everything they're trying to avoid. So how does someone become the black sheep? It usually starts early, often in childhood. This is the child who senses tension before anyone raises their voice. The one who notices mom's fake smile at the dinner table or dad's heavy silence after work. They pick up on the unspoken resentments, the buried anger, the things nobody wants to acknowledge. While everyone else moves through life on autopilot, the black sheep is hyper-aware. They see the cracks in the foundation that everyone else has learned to step over. And here's where it gets painful. When they point these things out, when they ask questions or express what they're feeling, they're often shut down, dismissed, or told they're imagining things. So, they learn a devastating lesson early on. I have to survive alone. I have to survive alone while being surrounded by people. Can you imagine how isolating that feels? To be in a room full of family and still feel completely alone. Because they thought differently, loved differently, and dreamed differently, their own family begins to see them as a glitch in the system, something that needs to be fixed, something that doesn't quite fit. But the black sheep can't unsee what they've seen. They can't unfeel what they feel. So they carry this burden, the burden of truth in a family that has collectively agreed to live in denial. And that's exactly why they're so misunderstood. Now, here's the part that changes everything. Here's the truth that no one has ever told the black sheep. You are not the problem. You're a pattern breaker. Let me say that again because it's important. You're not broken. You're breaking cycles. Think about your family history for a moment. Think about the generations before you, the unspoken rules, the emotional suppression, the same conflicts playing out over and over again like a broken record. Someone had to be brave enough to say, "This stops with me." Someone had to be willing to feel the discomfort, to ask the hard questions, to choose authenticity over approval. That someone is you. Your heart has become so honest that the environment you grew up in simply isn't ready for that level of honesty yet. And that's not your fault. You didn't become too much. They became too comfortable with too little. Here's what makes this even more powerful. The very qualities that made you the outcast are the exact qualities that will help you build a healthier, more authentic life. Your sensitivity? That's emotional intelligence. Your questions? That's critical thinking. Your refusal to play along? That's integrity. You're not dramatic. You're emotionally honest in an emotionally avoidant family. You're not rebellious. You're authentic in a system built on pretense. You're not difficult. You're just unwilling to sacrifice your truth for temporary comfort. And the world needs more people like that. The world needs people who are brave enough to feel, to question, to break patterns instead of repeating them. Now, I want to acknowledge something important. Being the black sheep is lonely. Let's not romanticize the pain. You might feel like an outsider at family gatherings. You might be the one who moved away, physically or emotionally. You might be the one who set boundaries and was punished for it. You might be the one who chose peace over family approval, and that choice probably cost you something. Maybe they don't call anymore. Maybe you're not invited to things. Maybe they talk about you like you're the problem, when really you were just the one brave enough to name the problem. That hurts. I know it does. But here's what I need you to understand. If you always feel like an outsider, it doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're becoming someone your family wasn't ready for. You're evolving beyond the limitations that held previous generations captive. You're breaking free from toxic patterns. You're choosing healing over heritage, growth over comfort, truth over tradition. And yes, that often means walking a path that feels lonely at first. But that loneliness, it's not emptiness. It's space. Space for you to discover who you really are without the weight of everyone else's expectations crushing you. The black sheep doesn't stay lost forever. Eventually, they find their tribe. People who value authenticity, emotional honesty, and growth. People who celebrate their depth instead of punishing it. So, if you're watching this and you relate to everything I've said, if you've always felt like the odd one out, the one who sees too much and feels too deeply, I want you to hear this. You are not the problem. You never were. You're the brave one, the pattern breaker, the cycle ender. Your family might not understand you. They might never validate your experience or acknowledge your pain. And as much as that hurts, their approval is not the metric by which you should measure your worth. You chose authenticity in a system that demanded conformity. You chose emotional honesty in an environment built on pretense. You chose peace over the performance of family harmony. That took courage, real, bone-deep courage. So this video is for you, the black sheep who refused to dim their light just to make others comfortable, the one who asked questions no one wanted to answer, the one who broke the family curse simply by choosing to be different. You're not lost, you're not broken, you're not too much. You're exactly who you need to be. And your story? It's just beginning.